Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. Noel Tata will succeed Ratan Tata as the chairman of Tata Trusts. The board of trustees elect him unanimously as the chairman to oversee the $400 billion conglomerate. CNBC-TV18 was the first to report on the succession this afternoon. 67-year-old Noel Tata has been leading the group's retail business, Trent, which is valued at 3 lakh crore rupees. It is the fourth largest company in the conglomerate. Trent's share price has risen from 500 rupees to more than 8,000 rupees in the last 5 years. The sensex and the Nifty end in the red for the second straight week. Mid-caps outperform, with the index gaining over 1%. The rupee weakens to a record low against the US dollar, breaches the 84 mark for the first time due to foreign outflows. Money market watchers say RBI stepped in to stem the fall. Israeli missiles strike residential neighborhoods in Lebanon's capital, Beirut. At least 22 people are killed and over 100 injured. Israel faces widespread condemnation after its troops shoot at UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. At least 10 people are dead as Hurricane Milton batters Florida. More than 2.6 million people still without power. The U.S. National Weather Services warns of a heavy downpour. With less than 30 days to go for the U.S. elections, former President Barack Obama hits the campaign trail with Kamala Harris, tears into Donald Trump as he holds rallies across swing states. Well, let's go straight to the top story this evening. Noel Tata, the 67-year-old half-brother of Ratan Tata, will succeed him as the chairman of Tata Trusts. Now, Noel Tata was unanimously appointed as the chairman at a board meeting that took place in Mumbai today, and this comes 48 hours after the death of Ratan Tata at the age of 86. Now, the board of Tata Trusts held 2 meetings today. The first one to pay homage to Ratan Tata, and the second to appoint the next chairman, where Noel Tata was chosen unanimously as the chairman. Noel Tata is already a trustee on the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust and the Sir Ratan Tata Trust, which together own 52% stake in Tata Sons, which is the holding company of the Tata Group. All in all, Tata Trusts owns 66% stake in Tata Sons and oversees the $400 billion conglomerate. It functions largely as the philanthropic arm of the Tata Group and one of India's leading charitable foundations. It is managed by a board of 13 trustees. Now, before we dive deeper into who Noel Tata is, here are some reactions to his succession as the chairman.
You know, earlier the trust chairman and the Tata Sons, the business chairman, if I may use that expression, was the same person. JRD was and Ratan was. And sometimes that could provide a potential conflict. Though they handled it, you could not leave that as a structure. So it's now very nice. You separated the NGO, not the NGO, what do you call it, the trust functioning from the business functioning.
Total continuity, they will act in tandem. There'll be total harmony in the working. So I'm very happy that this has happened. And I'm sure that the Tata Group has the best to come now and will lead me to new heights, both under Mr. Chandrasekharan as the Tata Group chairman and under Mr. Noel Tata as the chairman trustee of the Tata Trust.
Well, let's now focus on Noel Tata, the new chairman of Tata Trusts, a part of the Tata Group for over 4 decades. Noel Tata is currently at the helm of affairs at several of the Tata Group companies, including Trent, Tata Investment Corporation and Tata International. Now, Noel Tata became the managing director of Trent in 1999. He was elevated to the position of chairman in 2014. Just take a look at the Trent shares. They've surged 6,000% in the last decade, currently commanding a market cap of about 3 lakh crore rupees. Noel Tata has been credited with turning Trent into a profitable venture. The revenue of the company has risen from about 50 crore rupees in the year 2000 to over 12,000 crore rupees in the last fiscal. Under Noel Tata's leadership, Trent entered into a joint venture with British retail giant Tesco to operate stores under the banner Star Bazaar, Star Daily and Star Market. Trent launched its budget-friendly retail chain Zudio in 2016. Zudio has since surpassed the Tata Group's profitable retail chain Westside when it comes to footprint. While Westside currently runs 232 stores in 91 cities, there are around 545 Zudio stores across 164 Indian cities. Noel Tata also played a pivotal role in launching Spanish fashion brand Zara and Italian cosmetic brand Sicily in India. Known to keep a low profile, Noel Tata is related to the Palanji Mistry family. He is married to Alu Mistry, the sister of the late Cyrus Mistry. Noel Tata's 3 children, Maya, Neville and Leah Tata, are all involved in the Tata Group across various capacities.
The way Tatas have functioned is that they shape people and they shape Tatas. I mean, Noel was a born Tata, and so, he has been working very quietly in an area where they've had spectacular success. And so as I try and visualize him in the new chair or new position, I see that, okay, the qualities of simplicity, humility, the quintessential Tata character, is all over him. And his experience, they all will come with different backgrounds, but they all, had the chance to grow under the big trees. Mr. Ratan Tata under J.R.D. Tata and Noel Tata under Ratan Tata. So they worked closely for very long.
Wallabh Bhansali there on the Noel Tata innings, which now start. Joining me now are 2 authors who've written books about the Tata Group. Peter Casey, author of The Story of Tatas from 1868 to 2021, also an entrepreneur himself in Ireland. Also joining us is Girish Kuber, editor of Lok Sakta. Girish has authored the book The Tatas, How a Family Built a Business and a Nation. Peter and Girish, many thanks for joining us on the program today. 48 hours after the passing of Ratan Tata, the Tata Trusts have decided to appoint Noel Tata as the chairman of the Tata Trust. This, of course, also has context in the fact that after the amendment of the Articles of Association, post the Cyrus Mistry boardroom battle, the same individual cannot be the chairperson of Tata Sons and Tata Trusts. In a way, while Noel Tata has been an insider, an old-timer, a Tata lifer, this is a new innings for him. Peter Casey, let me start by asking you for your first reaction.
I think Noel will be an exceptional chairman of the Tata Trust. I believe that I've met Noel quite a few times, and he has the same sort of humility and passion as Ratan. And a little bit. Well, actually, Ratan, of course, was very quiet and, almost shy at the time, But I think it's a perfect alignment of the values of Tata, and I'm sure Noel will continue to represent everything that Tata stands for.
Yes, a perfect alignment there as Noel Tata takes charge as chairman of the Tata Trust. Girish, your thoughts as this new era begins. I mean, Ratan Tata was at the helm for over 2 decades, steered this disparate set of companies to make it a much more cohesive conglomerate. As the Noel Tata innings begins, your thoughts?
I think there are 2 points I would like to underline. One is obviously it will be, as Peter said, continuation of values. The personality is the same, the traits are the same, the qualities are the same. So that's one. And secondly, I mean, I'm looking at the media and the reaction and who is Noel Tata and everything. This exactly the same thing happened in 1991. When J.R.D. was to relinquish the charge and young and not so known Ratan Tata was taking charge of the conglomerate. So I think there is a similarity in that reaction also. And as we all know, Ratan Tata proved everybody wrong. I'm sure Noel also will do the same, And that's the beauty of the Tatas. When they're at the helm, the person at the helm always gets a focus, and someone next in line is not known. He is away from the limelight, and at the right time he comes at the center stage. That's exactly has happened.
Yes, that is how it has played out, and you're right in pointing out that many similarities between the two in the fact that they choose to remain away from the public eye, fly under the radar, and yet have had an enormous impact. But Peter Casey, speaking of impact, and while, the media is focusing on who Noel Tata is, let's take a look at what Noel Tata has been able to do across the many companies within the Tata Group that he is steering forward. I mean, we were just taking our viewers through the kind of meteoric rise Trent has seen under Noel Tata's stewardship. So while we may not know too much about him because he chooses to stay away from the limelight, the business impact is significant.
It is, and the philanthropic impact of Tata has just expanded astoundingly. And it is actually, I think, one of the untold secrets. People don't realize that Tata Sons is obviously controlled by the Tata Trusts. Tata Trust, of course, it's now the largest philanthropic organization in the world. It's the most amazing blend of entrepreneurship and philanthropy. So I mean, and I said in the book, it really is the perfect citizen. It makes great returns for its shareholders. It makes gives back to society, and really looks after their employees. So it's we're living in a world of a lot of corporate greed and a lot of lack of ethics and a lot of businesses you hear going on, and Tata embodies everything that a perfect company should be: give back to society and create entrepreneurial activities, and look after their employees as well. Yeah.
You're right in pointing that out, Peter, and this is something that we have been discussing and talking about. And Girish, let's address that issue, this unique structure that the Tatas operate within, the Tata Trust controlling Tata Sons, which is really sits in the middle of the philanthropic arm as well as the listed entities. And would you say that, in fact, post that bitter boardroom battle with Cyrus Smith III, the new governance norms that have evolved, ensuring that there isn't the same person at the helm of Tata Sons and the trusts, will in fact hold this structure in better stead for the future?
I think one angle we should consider. This is exactly in the current business context and on a business channel. I know it will be politically incorrect or irrelevant, but this is exactly the model Gandhi had proposed. The trusteeship, an enterprise, the corporate should be controlled by a trust, and that's exactly is happening. And barring Cyrus Smith III episode, it has worked so far very well, and I'm sure after the Cyrus Smith III episode, they must have learned quite a few lessons, and then it will be back to usual before, like what happened before Cyrus Smith III episode. I don't see any conflict. There is something beautiful Tata-ness about the whole structure, and that will continue.
Well, speaking of this Tata-ness, and I'm glad that you brought up the idea of trusteeship. I think we need to talk more about that. We need not just conscious capitalism, but compassionate capitalism as well, given the state of the world today and the rising inequality that we're all witness to. But Peter, you said that you have had the occasion to meet Noel Tata, spend time with Noel Tata, but, he takes charge at a time where the world is in a geopolitical flux. There is immense amount of volatility, but India's place within the world has also risen. The Tata Group is much more diverse today. Of course, it has always been diverse, but much more diverse, and taking bets on new areas like semiconductors, etc. What do you believe will be the opportunities and challenges that Noel Tata encounters?
Well, I think Ratan, when I asked him that question, where does he see the big opportunity? And he said this to me 10 years ago. He said artificial intelligence is going to be the complete game changer, and of course, he was, as usual, Ratan was right. It is a complete game changer. I think there's amazing opportunities to just change the quality of life, everything from medical research to making the earth a cleaner, better place, more efficient. But I think having an organization like Tata at the helm, Tata Sons, which is obviously controlled by the philanthropic trusts. It's the largest shareholder in Tata Sons, of course, is obviously the trust. And as I say I wish Tata would would explain that a little bit better to more people out there. I mean, I say to my friends, when you buy a Jaguar, you're contributing to charity. You buy. So it's that's the beautiful thing about the whole Tata story. That message that we need to get out there, that it is possible to be a compassionate capitalist. It's absolutely nothing wrong about making money. Noel has demonstrated that with the amazing results that he's had with Trent. And I'm sure, if you look at what Treaty is doing at TCS, TCS is now, a $30 billion business. When we started working alongside, they were doing it about 300 million. So it's, it's just one of the most amazing success stories. The way that Ratan was able to guide it. And I'm sure Noel will carry on that guidance along with Chandra.
Yes, that is the combination at the helm, and Chandrasekaran as the chairman of Tata Sons, and now Noel Tata as the chairman of Tata Trusts. And that's an interesting way that you put it, that people don't actually realize that if you're buying a Jaguar or you're buying a cup of coffee, Starbucks coffee, you're actually also contributing to the trusts and to the philanthropic side of the Tatas. But Girish, on the Noel Tata innings, and I think Vallabh Bhansali speaking to me a short while ago kind of summed it up very nicely. He said you have to look at businesses and choices that leaders make in the context of the times that they live in. And when Ratan Tata took over in 1992, he essentially had to pull together these ostensibly disparate businesses with disparate leaders and bring this conglomerate together. The conglomerate is together. It is one Tata today. As you see Noel Tata spearheading the group forward, what do you believe will have to be some of the things that he may want to do as he looks at the future?
So the most interesting aspect is things are much more favorable to Mr. Noel Tata than what they were for Mr. Tata in 1991-92. I heard Peter talking about the semiconductor. I mean, when Ratan Tata was with his mother in US when she was undergoing treatment, he prepared a note. It's a bit lengthy note where Tata should be going and looking forward. So some of the areas he had talked about was nanotechnology, the semiconductor, the oil exploration, the aviation, and things were not so smooth for him when he took over because there were many satraps and the powerful guys, and they were controlling their own empires. So things are much more easier for Noel Tata to take it forward to whatever areas he must be thinking about. And this is actually a wonderful opportunity compared to Mr. Ratan Tata. Things were much more challenging for him than Mr. Noel.
Combination.
Absolutely. He leaves behind a conglomerate. Yes, Peter, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's a very exciting and it's a perfect combination, Noel and Ratan, Noel and Chandra. I mean, Chandra is such a call to action to really performance enhance businesses and really drive them, whereas Noel will have a chance now to sit back and plot the strategy and work, in giving sort of strategic guidance as to the direction that Chandra will execute on. So Chandra's the ultimate executor. If you look at what Chandra did with TCS along with Ramadurai, and what he's done since he's taken over Tata Sons. So I think it's going to be it's a perfect combination, I think, for Tata.
A terrific combination, and you were talking about N. Chandrasekaran as his contribution to TCS, and I think it was R. Gopalakrishnan who, while speaking to me, called TCS the credit card for the Tatas, a credit card that they very wisely used over the years, given the kind of value and wealth that TCS has generated, not just for shareholders, but for the House of Tatas. Peter Casey and Girish Kuber, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Many, many thanks for joining us here on CNBC-TV18 with your take on the Noel Tata innings that starts now at Tata Trusts and Tata, the House of Tatas. We will head into a break, but when we return, there's a lot more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment. Well, let's talk about the market action. The sensex and the Nifty ended the day and the week in the red. This is the second straight week of losses for the markets. The mid-caps bucking the trend once again, with the index gaining 1%. That is this week. Financials continue to be a drag, with the Nifty Bank Index losing almost 1%. The Nifty Mid-Cap, though, closing 1%, about 0.5% higher. A flat close, but nevertheless in the red for both the Sensex and the Nifty. In the money market, though, the rupee weakened to a record low against the dollar for the first time. The rupee breaching the 84 mark. That is the story there. And money market watchers say the RBI was seen selling the dollars to stem that fall. So that is the dollar rupee for you. And let's talk about the yields. The 10-year bond prices declined in trade. The yields have hardened. Lata's here with more on the rupee and the money market action. What's going on, Lata?
Well, it's quite a headline when the rupee crosses 84 and goes lower to 84.10 to buy a dollar, because it's been in this 83 to 84 range for over a year now. And 84 was seen being protected by the Reserve Bank for a long time. Whether they intended it as a mark, we don't know. But it seemed to recoil from that level. But today it crossed beyond. And at 84.10, we saw dollar supplies coming in. So dealers are suspecting that now Reserve Bank is protecting the 84.10 mark. Of course, their usual stance is they only remove volatility and come in when there is too much of a one-sided movement. Now, the chances are that the moment you went beyond 84, a lot of people who were sitting short dollars would have come and covered. And therefore, that 84.10 would have came very swiftly once 84 got crossed. And that's why perhaps the Reserve Bank intervenes to ensure that there isn't too much of one-sided movement. Now, why is this panic? For one, we know that, over the weekend, there are some important events lined up, important uncertain events lined up. The first is the Chinese press conference, where they may detail some fiscal steps. Now, if they are fairly strong enough, then you could see a greater amount of foreign money going into Chinese stocks. As we have seen, foreigners have been huge sellers in the month of October, and that could get accelerated, which is one reason why the rupee is on a weak wicket. The other one is a possible attack of Israel on Iran that has already taken crude closer to the $80 mark. It even crossed once. So there is again that fear. We are seeing crude rising, and that's also leading to pressure on the rupee. And a third factor, which combines both, dollar index itself has strengthened. And we are seeing many currencies weakening against the dollar. Who is to say that there cannot be a little more strengthening of the dollar? Of course, the latest bout of strengthening of the dollar was because the inflation number came in higher than expected in the US, and that led to at least one FOMC member saying that you can even pause in November. That also led to a bit of a strength, the dollar, leading to rupee weakness. Now the question in the market is 84.10 the new 84 as far as the RBI is concerned? Will they support that level? We will have to wait and see. Too many uncertainties are packed in over the weekend. Nobody will want to go with long rupee positions over such a weekend.
Well, that is going to be something we watch very closely as the markets resume on Monday. But Lata, many thanks for joining us. And with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. The news will continue here on CNBC-TV18. Stay tuned. We're back in a moment with more.